Okay, so today is day 51 of 75 hard. It's 20th July 2023. I have fever. I also had it yesterday, but today it increased. So I have been taking it very light today. But yeah, we gotta do what we gotta do. So I read today. I already finished this, and I'm gonna highlight. I'm gonna say the things that are like highlighted in these books. Today I started from page 48. Excuse me, and I finished on page 59 before the title how to use this book. So what the author starts telling us is first a little summary about effective habits, that how habits are formed, the knowledge, the skill and the desire part of it, as I told yesterday. And then he went to the maturity part, that we are in three different directions: the physical, the emotional and the intellectual, the three dimensions of maturity. You can say that a person can be physically dependent but emotionally and intellectually independent or mature. Excuse me. And so on. Then author goes to uh, give a brief overview about the seven habits that he's going to talk in the book. The seven habits. This is the chart. I guess you can't see, but okay, whatever. So, first author tells us about three types of, let's say, three types of categories you can fall into. Let's say you can be dependent, you can be independent, or you can be interdependent. Dependence is like the worst part, worst category to fall into. Like you are dependent on someone. Like when you are born, you are an infant. You are obviously dependent on that time. Excuse me. And then from that part, you slowly grow and become independent. You must become independent when you grow. Some of them are still dependent on their parents at the age 22, 23, even 30. I can't say excuse me, so just excuse me for the rest of the video. um, then what he does is that he tells us that the first three habits that he is going to tell, these are about the private victory, that he told in previous that private victories precede public victories. So the first three habits, from the chart I'm reading it, are that be proactive, being with the end in mind, and put first things first. And as you slowly develop these habits, you are going to become independent. And the author doesn't has really expanded on the topics. I'm just reading from the chart. He will, I guess, talk about these later in the book. And then once you become independent, then you don't have to master all the three habits as said by the author, but like let's say you are up a decent amount, and then you can work towards interdependence. The habit 4 is think win-win. Habits 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. And habit 6 is synergize. And the seventh habit is like a over earning to it. It's like that, just enforce all the habits. It's the binding material. It says here, sharpen the saw. So that's about that, and I think he will expand on that later. Then the author tells us about, on page 53, effectiveness defined. He tells us a small story about the goose, that the golden goose story, that a farmer used to get golden eggs every day from a golden goose. And he became rich, and then later he got impatient and greedy and killed a goose to have all the eggs at once. And what he found is that there were no eggs, and he just killed his machine, his golden egg producing machine. So the author refers to the term golden egg and goose as key terms in the next few pages. He also uses it synonymously with the word P and PC. The P means production, equivalent to golden eggs, and PC means production capability, equivalent to goose. He says that we should work on our goose and we should not neglect it, because we might now be greedy and we might get a lot of golden eggs in the short term, but in the long term, the goose is what is going to the goose is what is going to, you know, help us. Excuse me once more. Oh, okay, so I couldn't pause the video, and I maybe it's gross, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, then he told about three kinds of assets: a physical asset, and I guess the other two are emotional and other things. I don't see um him telling about the other assets. Let me pause and check. Okay, so no, another is the human area. Okay, so I don't know what is it. The three kinds of assets. I don't know what the three kinds are. It's on page 54. So it tells us that we should work on a production, like, let's say we are in a marriage. I am not, but let's say I am. So let for we newly married, and I and my spouse are really focusing on getting the benefits of the marriage, like the social part, the physical part, the economical part, financial part, the gifts of the weddings, the tours, the wishes from the people, and everything, and the new unique factor that our life changes, the new change to our life. Okay, so that are the reaping the benefit. But if we don't focus on maintaining our relationship in the long term, our marriage will fail. So that's what the author is telling. Same way about parenting a child. When you have a new child, you can just ignore on the emotional part. Okay, so you can also ignore on the physical part. Let's say you don't make your child obedient, which I have seen lot in my life as I have grown up. What I have seen is that a child will want to let's say a friend of mine, or maybe a child I see in front of me, will ask for lays or chips or any kind of junk food, and their mother's food, like, ignorantly give them, like, just to uh, make them stop annoying them. Okay, so just do whatever you want, don't annoy me, that kind of attitude. But my parents, luckily, I don't know if that is from the, like, the conjuice part. I can't remember the English word for it. The I what do you call them, that who spend very less money? So whatever that is, who spend money very, like, okay, so whatever that is. So I don't know if that is from that perspective, or if they really care about my hair. But I know they care about my hair, but I don't know which portion is the leading factor. Whatever. From childhood, I and my brother have ate very, very, very less junk food, and we have ate a lot of vegetables and etc. from in our household. Like, I would see a lot of my friends, when they would come over, or I would go over their house. They would not, let's say there's a certain group of vegetables or certain group of things that they would not eat. I mean, it's that he doesn't eat those. There's a category of veggies, because they don't taste good. Okay, and the parents comply. I mean, who's going to give the effort to convince them? But my parent, from when I was young, scolded and beaten, and I don't know, I don't think beaten, but scolded, yeah, very heavily, and made us, and me and my brother, eat those. So at first, I really didn't feel the benefits. I just saw that as a kind of punishment on me. But as not very further in my life, currently I'm 17 years old, I find that that's really put me in now I'm in a very healthy position than a lot of other of my peers. So I'm thankful for my parents. So that's the kind of thing. You want to invest in your PC to get your P. That's what the author is saying. If you want to be a good parent, you want to have children who in the future are not like those hopeless children, not like those children who wasted their lives. You want to have a children, an ideal children, and children who's like going to is becoming independent, is going to help you in the future, is going to care about you. Your bond is very nice, bond between you and your child. So you have to put effort in, and you have to really, like, make the give the effort to shape up your PC, your goose. yeah, so it might be a little odd to objectify your children, but it's not in that sense. It's just that you have to put the effort. That's what he's telling. So that's the main point of it, till page 59. So yeah, that's it. I'll start from tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to see Oppenheimer, and I still have a lot of fever, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's see in the morning. If I feel a lot of fever, I have to take a medicine and go, because I really don't want to miss the movie. At the same time, I don't want to fail the challenge, because if I have a very high fever, I won't be able to do physically the tasks. And even if I am able to push through, I can push through. That there will be a lot of pain, but I can push through. But that is just going to worsen the fever and make it harder the next day. And you know what? Maybe I can even die. So if I just keep pushing, so I have to take it a bit easy, complete all the tasks, don't be lazy, but take it easy. Understand my biological levels. I know it contradicts with my mindset, the David Goggins mindset that I have, but I don't know what. It's a little bit self-contradictory, but the limiting part of me is now uh, lot larger. Maybe I'll regret this in the future, or maybe I'll be grateful. I don't know, but let's see. Maybe I'll comment in the future about saying that whether I regretted this decision or not. So yeah, sayonara.